What's good, y'all? We're coming up on the last few positions left. In this video, we're doing power forwards. Only one more left after this, and that's centers. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that one. If you haven't seen all the point guard, shooting guard, small forward rankings, make sure you go back on the channel and watch those. And I feel like I've been saying this every video, but this list was probably the hardest that I had to do so far. It's just, there's a lot of guys that are just, like, the top tier is really hard to do. They're really interchangeable. And then the down low tier is really interchangeable too. There's injuries and different things like that. Really difficult to make this list. But without further ado, let's just hop right into it. Coming in at our two honorable mentions, we have Karl Anthony Towns, who dealt with some injuries this season, and then Draymond Green. So this was Cat's first year playing power forward, and like I said before, he dealt with some injuries, so it was a little hard to really gauge how well he plays as a power forward, but regardless, he's still a super talented player. He's one of the best stretch bigs of all time. I'll agree with him on that. I'll say that. Volume-wise, percentage-wise, he's the best, one of the best shooting big men of all time. I really do want to see him with more reps next to Rudy Gobert, of course, you know, playing together more often, see how that kind of smooths things over. And then when it comes to Draymond Green, obviously you got Steph Curry there, but Draymond is like the orchestrator for both their offense and defense for the Warriors. You know, his vocal leadership as well with just his IQ and then his skills, what he brings to the game, just is unmatched, really. Pretty much, if you need him to do anything but scoring, he got you with that. He'll play defense, he'll play make, he'll rebound. Like I said before, his vocal leadership and just directing guys to do different things like that. He is just, his value is super, super irreplaceable, in my opinion. And kicking off the top 10, we have Zion Williamson coming in here at number 10. Only played 29 games this season, but he still had incredible stats when he did play. I've said this in a few of the other videos, but if you guys haven't seen that, these rankings are not based off of last year strictly. It's a combination of things. Basically what it is just which players I would want going into next season. When Zion is on the court, he's realistically unstoppable. The combination of his athleticism, his strength, his size, you know, he could jump just over anyone and through anyone and just pound it right on your head. He's one of the league's most elite finishers, averages 27 points per game on like 60% from the field on all dunks and layups at 6'6". Like he's really an anomaly in the NBA. His one thing really is his health. If he was healthy, he would probably be in the top 3 of this list, realistically. But his health has been a huge concern throughout his entire career, so it drops him down to number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have Evan Mobley of the Cavs. He averaged 16 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. His defense was incredible. Just an all-around great season for the sophomore forward. Something that I think doesn't get talked enough about is the fact that Evan Mobley was a top 3 Defensive Player of the Year finalist in his second year in the league. Like, that is really insane. His defensive versatility is just one of a kind, really. Blocking shots, getting the passing lanes. He's got incredible size and length at that power forward position. And then on top of that, he also has the quickness to kind of stay on the perimeter and just they run that zone a little bit too, where he's just kind of roaming free safety. I love him at that. And on top of that, the fact that he plays next to Jared Allen, another rebounding big, and he still almost averages double digits. You know, it is only 9, but it's close to double digits still. I'm sure if he ever goes to a full-time center by himself, he'll easily be a double-double machine. That's kind of my next question, though, is, you know, there's rumors that the Cavs want to get rid of Jared Allen. Will he be a full-time center? You know, if not, can he expand his range for shooting, like, you know, from 3 or from the mid-range or whatever, just to kind of make him more of a true power forward? I'm not too sure which direction the Cavs want to go with him, but either way, I'm sure he's in safe hands. If I asked you guys last year if Lauri Markkanen was a top 10 power forward, I wonder how many of you guys would have said yes. Probably 0 of you guys. But regardless, at number 8, we have the marksman, Lauri Markkanen. It's kind of crazy to me that Lauri Markkanen was just kind of thrown into that Donovan Mitchell trade as like salary filler basically, and then he goes over to the Jazz and has a breakout season, winning most improved player, averaging 25 points per game, you know, just becoming almost an elite scorer. This season, Lauri became the first NBA player ever to hit 200 threes while also having at least 100 dunks, which, you know, really just shows his scoring versatility. You know, a great finisher at almost 7 foot, and then also can shoot the lights out from 3. I think it was almost 40% this season. Just all around a great season for Lauri, really kind of speeding up that Jazz rebuild. Coming in here at number 7, we have the NBA's blocks leader this season, Jaren Jackson Jr. He was one of the biggest reasons on why the Grizzlies had one of the best defenses last year. Of course, Jaren Jackson Jr. did win the Defensive Player of the Year this season, so shout out to him. He really was just incredible on the defensive side of the ball when he was on the court. I know a lot of people talk about his fouls and everything like that, but when he is on the court, man, it's just a completely different defense for Memphis. This is his 2nd year in a row leading the league in blocks. This year he averaged 3 per game, which is really insane. A full steal on top of that too. Like, just all around, the defensive numbers are just incredible for him. And this season, he kind of expanded his offense a little bit more. You know, of course, he's always shot the 3 ball. This year wasn't a terrible season. It's kind of up and down for him. But he also learned how to get into the post a little bit more, I feel like. You know, especially in that Lakers series in the playoffs, I feel like he was attacking LeBron, just backing him down in the post. Just doing little flip shots or up and unders or whatever it is. Just really expanding that post game and his offense as a whole, which I really do like, especially because Ja is going to be suspended for those 25 games. A lot of the offense is going to have to be spread out throughout the team. You know, Jaren Jackson is going to have to step up. Desmond Bane's going to have to step up. Marcus Smart, guys like that. So I do expect Jaren to come into next season maybe starting with averaging 20. You know, hopefully his defense can stay at the elite level that is, while he also, you know, has to do more on the offensive side of the ball. But if he does that and becomes a really good two-way player like that, wow, he could just shoot up this list. Almost there at the top 5. This one might be a little controversial here, but at number 6, we have Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam is a little bit underrated in the fact that he's just so versatile for this Raptors team. You know, he's their first option for scoring, which, you know, he's a pretty good scorer. He can rebound the ball too. His playmaking, I think, is a little bit underrated. Defense is there, you know. He just does a little bit of everything for them. You know, he's really good at getting to the basket and then finishing there. He had a little bit of a down year shooting the ball, which, you know, kind of sucks a little bit. You want those percentages to go up, you know, more of that range to get into Siakam. But I'm not going to lie, it was really, really close between him and the guy I had number 5, so I'm just going to reveal number 5, and then we can talk about how close they were. And here we are in the top 5, and we have Julius Randle here kicking it off for us, averaging 25, 10, and 4 for the New York Knicks. So I know majority of people give a lot of the credit for the Knicks making the playoffs again to Jalen Brunson, and rightfully so. He impacted this team incredibly. But Julius Randle also was an incredible impact, especially in the regular season. A lot of people forget that Julius was the Knicks All-Star and All-NBA team member, and not Jalen Brunson. Some of that could be, you know, with the positions. There's a lot of elite guards in the league compared to forwards. Could be something like that. But regardless, in the regular season, Julius Randle was incredible. He was the Knicks' first option for the majority of the regular season this year, and he kind of made himself more of a reliable scorer, I guess you could say. He took less of those contested mid-ranges, those tough fadeaway shots, and just more threes and more getting to the rim, which is, you know, it helped his game out become more efficient. And like I said when I was talking about Pascal, these guys were super close. I had Siakam at 5, then I switched him with Julius Randle, and then I switched them back, and then I did it one more time to Julius on top. I was going back and forth, back and forth. These guys are very similar in the fact that they're great scorers, they're great playmakers, great rebounders, you know, things like that. Really what it came down to, Julius is a better rebounder. He's a better shooter from 3, even though neither of these guys are elite 3-pointers. Julius has a higher percentage and a higher volume. And then the last stat, the Knicks made the playoffs. The Raptors didn't. They made the play-in but couldn't make it to the actual playoffs. So when it comes down to this close and I'm splitting hairs like that, it's just how I had to do it. And here we are at number 4 with the King, LeBron James. In year 20, just putting up absolute monster numbers. So remember how at the beginning of the video, I said how this list was by far the hardest so far? I'm not gonna lie, pretty much anyone from number 4 to number 1, you can interchange them however much you want. Like this, I'm splitting hairs at this point. So this was a very big season for LeBron. Obviously, he became the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, so shout out to him. That really didn't go too much into me ranking. I just still wanted to give him a shout out to him. More in this season, though, he took the Lakers that started off at, I think, like the 14th seed at one point, all the way back to the play-in tournament. Then in the play-in tournament, brought them into the playoffs, through the number 2 seed, through the defending champions, and then made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. They did get swept, unfortunately, by the eventual champion Denver Nuggets, But still, the fact that you started at the 14th seed at one point in the season, and you made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, really insane stuff. This year, Bron almost averaged 30, which is really crazy to me, especially because his jump shot was just not there this entire season. I don't really know what it was, but just from 3, he was bricking. Luckily enough, though, his finishing is still elite, as it always has been since he came into the league. Just getting to the basket and just finishing over, through, around, whatever it is. I do think, though, that his foot injury did really affect him into the playoffs and, finishing out the regular season. So I am very excited to see a healthy LeBron James with this new Lakers team. I really like what they did in free agency. I'm excited for the Lakers next season. And at number 3, we have another guy that I moved around while making this list, Jayson Tatum. Jayson had an incredible season over there in Boston, averaging 30, 9, and 5. A lot like the Julius Randle and Pascal Siakam thing, I swapped Jayson Tatum and number 2 around back and forth a decent amount of times, just because it is really close. Jayson is one of the league's best ISO scorers and just scorers in general, honestly. The one thing for me, especially this season, I feel like he settles for threes a decent amount, in his rookie season, or not even rookie, I'm not going to go that far, but in his younger seasons, he pretty much would, shoot mid-ranges, get to the basket, he would still shoot threes, but just have a healthy rotation of shots. A lot of times now, I feel like if he's not getting to the rim, he's chacking up a 3, and sometimes those looks just aren't the best. Sometimes, though, it does go in because he is Jayson Tatum. He is one of the best scorers in the league. I don't know. It's something about it just rubs me the wrong way. Just when he's not hitting, it's just really tough to watch. But Boston has been a powerhouse in the East for the last, I don't even know, 5, 6, 7 years, however long it's been. And ever since Jayson Tatum's gotten there, pretty much, he has been the main guy there. This next coming season, I think with the addition of Porzingis, the Celtics are going to be very good. And if Jayson Tatum is leading the way with them, he could be an MVP caliber player. We are coming down to the wire here. At number 2, we have Kevin Durant. Between getting traded at the deadline and the injuries, this was a very interesting year for KD, but still a great one. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but Kevin Durant, in my opinion, is the best. Not one of the best, but the best scorer in the entire NBA. This man just shot 56% from the field, 40% from the 3, and 92% from the free throw line on majority jump shots. KD, most of the time this year, would get the ball in the mid-range and just shoot. And it would be cash a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, he still gets to the rim, still shoots threes and everything like that. But regardless of what type of shot he's shooting, he is super, super, super efficient with it. I do also think that he is a very underrated playmaker, and the fact that the Suns next season don't really have a true point guard, I could see his assist numbers maybe being a little higher than normal because of that. Also, I do think he's an underrated rim protector. He's started to realize, oh, I'm damn near 7 feet. I could basically block a lot of shots right now. So him on the help side coming over and stuff like that, I really do think that's an underrated part of his game. Because he's such a great scorer, people only view him as a scorer, but he can impact the game in plenty of other ways. I'm not gonna lie, if it wasn't for injuries, I have no doubt in my mind that KD would have been All-NBA first team. And at the top of power forward mountain, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo coming in ranked number 1 best power forward in the league. I don't know if this is a hot take either, but Giannis is a top 2 player in the league. I have Jokic number 1, Giannis at number 2, right behind him. When you average 31, 12, and 6 on 55% from the field, and then almost a full block and a full steal, it's really unfathomable how much you're doing on the basketball court for your team, just literally everything. And the absolute one single hole in Giannis's game is his three-point shooting. You could say free throws too, but we saw in the finals when it counts, when he needs to make the free throws, he will make them. His really one hole in his game is his three-point shooting, but when you're this dominant and literally everything else on the court, it doesn't really matter. And I know a lot of people are giving him shit because he lost to an 8th seed or whatever, but I'm not one to normally do this. If he didn't get hurt, I do think he beats the Heat. Regardless, he did lose, whatever. Next season, I think it's going to be a completely different thing. He'll have a healthy Chris Middleton for the full regular season. Drew Holiday will be back. Brook Lopez, they re-signed. I think that Giannis is going to be very hungry for revenge and redemption, and we're going to see a whole nother beast next year. Let me know what you guys think of the list down in the comments below. Let me know what you think my most outrageous ranking was. Did I have a guy way too high, way too low, whatever it is, put it down low. Like I said before, if you guys haven't seen my point guard, shooting guard, or small forward videos, make sure you go onto my channel right now and watch all of them so you get my full rankings of a lot of the different players. Also, if you don't want to miss my centers ranking video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Coming out with a bunch of other different content too, so regardless, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave it a like. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch ya.